Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to our weekly live. So happy to be with you guys all today. Whether you're joining in from Facebook or YouTube, it's great to have you. And also, hello to those of you watching later on the replay. So, welcome. Kathy, you said good morning. Well, it could be morning where you are. Just depends on where in the world we are all watching from, right? Different time zones for everybody. So we'll say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're coming in from. All right, so today I have a fun fold card that we're going to make together featuring designer series paper. So using the paper as the base of our card. So that's going to be fun to make. And then I just have one, I'm looking around here to double check myself. I think I just have one card to show you today for Happy Mail because I completely forgot to go to the post office. So sometimes I forget to go and check my P.O. box. And then then I go and check and we have a whole bunch of Happy Mail that we have to show. So that's what I'll do later today is I will check my P.O. box. So anyways, good afternoon, everybody, and I'm glad that you're here. So I am going to go ahead and show you this card. This is from one of my studio helpers. She brought me a Valentine's card, and it says, "Will you be my Valentine?" And then one of the best things in life is you. And I just thought that would be a fun card to show. So, okay, so I am going to be using today the Scalloped Wishes. And before we get started, I do want to say there is free shipping. So that starts tomorrow, February 18th. It'll be February 18th to the 20th. And it is on qualifying orders, which I believe is $75, I believe. So look forward to that starting tomorrow. You can add to your wish list. And this is a new set that you can get at the beginning of March. Or if you don't want to wait, you can join my team and you can put this in your starter kit, which you also get free shipping on that. And then you'll also get the stamp positioning tool as well, which is really cool. So I'm going to make a card here using this Scalloped Wishes and the coordinating dies that go with it as well. So that's what we're going to work with today. All right, so I am going to start with we're going to cut this piece of paper because then we're going to do some stamping and die cutting. So this is the Garden Textures foil, and I am going to use this for the base of my card. So it's going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I think it's already 5 1/2. It is. Okay. But I need this extra piece for a die cut that we're going to do. And then we are going to use the Garden Poetry Designer Series paper. And it has some beautiful blueberry bushel and shaded spruce on each side. So, and we're going to be measuring 5 1/4 by 12. I think I'm going to do it this way. So 5 1/4 by 12. Okay. Now I'm just going to set that aside. We'll come back to our scoring and folding in a minute, but I want to do some stamping and die cutting first. Okay. So we'll wait on the green because I gotta stamp first. So I'm going to use the large scalloped oval, and it has all sorts of little dotting, like a dotted pattern, which you'll see once I stamp it. So we're gonna pop this on just a scrap of white paper is all I'm using because I'm going to die cut this after we stamp it. I think I'll do it this way. There we go. Okay. So you can see here that beautiful dotted pattern that comes from the stamp. And then I am going to put "So Very Happy for You." We're going to stamp that on the inside here. Okay. And then we will do some, take this and this, and yeah, okay, I think that's all of them that I need. So I'm going to try to get my machine here. I'll just do it a little bit angled so you can still see what I'm die cutting. So we'll start with this guy, and actually I'm going to turn it. And we're going to use a large scalloped oval. And I'm just going to get that set here where I need it to be. Now, you could always use a Post-it note or washi tape to hold this in place. I have a tendency to live on the wild side and attempt to die cut without any of that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But, you know, it's, you know, life on the edge, right? Okay, so we're just going to crank that through here. Oh, everything is shaking here on my desk. Okay, and I'm just actually going to set that aside because I don't have a lot of room to show you guys stuff. So I'll show you everything after I finish the die cutting. So we're going to use our scrap of green, and we're going to cut this detailed oval here. And we're actually going to get 2 pieces out of that. And then we'll do it once more using the same die cuts. The same die, I mean. But I will do it in basic white. And then I can move the machine out of the way and show you guys all the pieces. Okay, so we'll just crank that back through here. And okay, so we've got our 3 die cuts that we're going to need for this card. So this scalloped oval here, it gives you both the scalloped piece and this middle oval. So I am going to, whoops, take that out right there. Now I'm not actually going to use this on this card, but this is, you can see here's the extra from the sample card that I made after all the pieces are popped out of here. So you get a nice detailed piece that you can save for another card, but we are going to use this oval. So then from our green, we've got our center oval, and we have our scallop. So I'm just going to come through here and use a combination of my nails and my pokey tool, and we'll just get all of these little pieces out of here. So that we have a nice clean die cut to work from. All right, they fall out really nice and easy. But the foil, as you can see, it likes to retain some of them in the frame. So, all right, I think there's just a couple of more. Okay, so there we go. There's our detailed scalloped oval out of the, that was from this shaded spruce foil. And then we also die cut out of our basic white, our stamped image as well. So just move those die cuts here out of the way, or dies, sorry. I kind of interchangeably use dies and die cuts, and I realize they're not exactly the same thing. But this is a beautiful set that cuts lots of great pieces for you. All right. So we are going to take our designer series paper, which we cut 5 by 12. And now I'm going to do some scoring. Okay, now I'm going to give you the score measurements 2 different ways because it just depends on maybe how your brain crafts or what tools you're using for your crafting. So you're going to score your piece at 3, 6.5, and 10.5. Okay, 3, 6.5, and 10.5. Now, here's the thing. I have a really messy desk. I'm sure nobody is surprised here. Enough room to take the little arm, you know, this arm that comes out here. I rarely have enough room to extend that, and I certainly don't right now. So another way to look at your measurements for scoring is that we're still going to score at 3 inches. But then we're going to turn it around and we're going to score at 1.5 and 5.5. So for people like me who may not have a clean enough desk to have that little extended arm out, this is another way that you can do your score lines. Okay. So if I find my smallest panel, I know that that goes on the right-hand side of my card. So that's a great place for us to start with our burnishing. So I know that this small flap is going to be over here on the right-hand side of my card. So now that I have that, I can find my next score line, which is right here. And we will fold on that score line. And then we'll find our third score line, and we will fold backwards on that line. There we go. So you end up with a card front that looks like this. And when we open it, and you've got your flap over here as well. Okay? So this is your end result, and let me just show you here from the top in case that helps to see. You can see your little Z with that extra flap right here. Now, once you fold it, if you don't like the way this looks, like maybe we don't want to have this much of a green panel. Well, that's okay. Easily fixable. We'll just reverse our folds like that. See, is that directional? It is a little bit directional. So we can just reverse our fold, okay? So we're going to do that. We're actually going to reverse it. I'm going to use this one so that I have more of the greenery on my front panel. Now we already cut our foil to be 4.25 by 5.5, kind of a standard size card base, because we need something to solidify our designer series paper. It's a little flimsy to just send this as your card. So we want to stick it on some cardstock, or in this case, I'm using some gorgeous foil. Okay. So here's our card base now. We can see all of that beautiful floral, and you can see how it goes from the shaded spruce to the blueberry bushel. Okay. So I'm going to start with, oh, you know what? We need to do one more stamping now that we have our white oval here. We got one more stamp here. And it says, Happy Graduation. I, for one, have graduation on the brain because my husband will be graduating this year. So I was excited to see this new set come out that had a graduation stamp. I'll probably end up with like 10 graduation cards for him because I'm starting early. This is the first one I've made. Okay, so we've got Happy Graduation. So we are going to go here to the inside. Now, because this is a graduation card, I thought I would turn it into a gift card holder. So a couple of things you could do with this panel. You can make it a gift card holder, which is what I'm about to do. You can also tape this down, which I'll actually show you another card I've made where this is just taped down. You could also just leave it as a flap, kind of a little hidden flap for your message, you know. So there are some options here. But I'm going to turn it into a gift card holder because I know that people often want to include either a gift card or maybe a little money when they send a graduation card. I know I like to do that when someone graduates. And so now I have my little pocket for a gift card. So then on our inside panel, we're going to take our foil scalloped oval and we're going to put the white inside of it for my card. So I'm going to use some green glue here. And the problem I've got right now with my green glue is it just comes out all by itself, just willy-nilly. It just likes to come out. Far too fast for a detailed die cut like this. So what I did, I've got a little bit of glue here on my, this is just a scrap of white paper. And I'm going to take my pokey tool and I am just going to use my pokey tool to dab some glue on some of the solid parts of this die cut. Because my glue just, it's like it's pressurized and it comes out way too fast to do what I'm doing right now. I would have glue everywhere, which I typically do anyways. Let's be honest. All right. Let's see. I think I got enough glue there. So I'm going to put that on my middle panel. I'll just hold that for a quick second. And then I'll take the white oval from the basic white that we did. And I'll just set that right inside of there for a happy graduation. And then I'm actually going to use this foil oval that I've got here. And I am actually just going to put it on the far panel. You know, sometimes you get invited to a graduation party or graduation ceremony for someone, and maybe you don't know them super well. Maybe they're the kid of a friend of yours or something like that. And so you don't really have a lot to say. You just want to sign your name. So this is great for that because now I just have a little tiny spot to sign my name to something. So then we've got our front panel. And I'm going to go ahead, let me make sure I don't have no sticky glue. Okay. So we'll come to our front panel and I am going to dimensionalize my scalloped oval. There we go. Yes, Deb, Josh is my husband. He is in the midst of an internship and a big project right now. So I don't see him very often, except from a distance while he's working at his computer. He is right in the middle of all of the craziness of this semester. Okay, I'm going to use this shaded spruce. It's actually shaded spruce and soft sea foam, but I am going to tie it to show mostly just shaded spruce. And we're going to make it a fairly small bow here. And just going to finagle it here because I want my two loops to be shaded spruce. There we go. Okay. So I will trim off these ends. And then I can use my glue dots. And we'll add this to our card front. There we go. And then last but not least, oh goodness, where did they go? I wanted to use some embellishments. Here they are. These are called natural matte dots. And I thought I would use some of the white ones here. And actually, I think I want the smaller size. So we're just going to add a few dots here. So we've got our designer series paper fun fold. There we go. Now, while I was creating this, I was trying to make a sample card and I miscut my paper. So I'm going to show you another way that you can make this card with a slightly different measurement. It's still 12 inches and it's still scored at all the same places, but this is only 5 inches high. Okay. So then I was able to make my foil a little bit smaller. And I did my die cutting out of that foil. And then I used basic white for my 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And for this one, it's a sympathy card. And so I did not include a gift card holder right here. This flap is just taped down. So, but I've still got the foil oval, scalloped oval there on the middle section. And you can see I've inverted my paper here. So for this sample card, my paper features the shaded spruce really big. And this one I went with the greenery. So you really get to see some of that blue and green all together. So thank you guys so much for watching Facebook Live today and YouTube Live. And don't forget, this is the creative challenge for the week. So you can go over to the Handcrafted Blessings community group on Facebook and enter your card, whatever version you make. Excuse me. Make your version of this card and I will pick a winner and send you some embellishments. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And don't forget, free shipping starts tomorrow, February 18th. Be sure to encourage one another and build each other up. I'll see you soon.